The Barbie movie released to a lot of controversy and fanfare, and I mean a lot of fanfare. The film successfully raked in $356 million in just its opening weekend. But was the movie any good? Or was it a badly made hodgepodge of ideas that managed to hide its flaws through its flawless marketing? Let's break it all down. The secret to Barbie's success. Starting with the film's phenomenal success. I mean, how did Greta Gerwig, a relatively up-and-coming director, manage to one-up Christopher Nolan at his own game? The answer doesn't lie in their directorial abilities, but in the film's marketing departments. Whereas Nolan's Oppenheimer was released with little to no marketing, the Barbie movie had so much budget allocated to its marketing that the team refused to even mention it. Among their insane marketing stunts were 1. A giant 3D ad in front of the Burj Khalifa. I mean, Dubai is quickly becoming a hub for global tourism, and what better way to market your movie than to advertise it with a Godzilla-sized Barbie smack dab in front of the city's most important landmark. Number 2. Google confetti for Greta Gerwig, Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie for whenever you Google one of their names. Not only that, the entire page turns pink-themed. A Barbie-themed Malibu home that was available for rent on Airbnb at just $60. Could you imagine the wait list for this thing? Number 4. A new generation Barbie song featuring Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj. Number 5. Hilarious and entertaining interviews of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling all over YouTube before the movie came out. The Grand Hyatt in Malaysia, which was given a Barbie-themed makeover and advertised as the ultimate Barbie-themed staycation. Number 7. A Barbie plane by Lockheed Martin. Barbie billboard that just had the specific hue of pink associated with Barbie and nothing else. These things advertised themselves. World of Barbie traveling exhibit. Not only was there a ton of other collaborations with brands all over the world, Barbie was going to start a pink movement and it was going all out. Barbenheimer. However, the most notable win for the marketing department was when the internet took over. It started with memes and inventive recreations of movie posters, but it ended with something no one could have seen coming. This cultural phenomenon actually turned the biggest threat to Barbie's commercial success into a strength. You see, Barbie was meant to come out the same day as Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This would have typically divided the audiences until someone somewhere on the internet was like, why not both? Barbenheimer resulted in a revitalization of cinema that saw people go to the cinema in droves to see both movies. Now, the phenomenon itself can and will be studied to death by both cinema enthusiasts and marketing teams that want to try and recreate it. Deciphering Barbenheimer. But if I were to take a gander at the secret behind the success of the meme, it was probably because people were excited to see both movies. To begin with, both directors have an established reputation for making good movies that the audiences actually care about. Of course, nostalgia had a big thing to do with it as well. It has been a while since a Nolan movie made it to the big screen, with Tenet being released in the midst of a pandemic, and Barbie, well, we've all grown up with it. As far as the meme is concerned, people just need a reason to get together and have fun, and they'll create anything in order to justify that need. In the pre-Barbenheimer era, it was the gentle minions trend, and before that, it was people lining up to see Endgame. Controversy. Of course, all that success wasn't universal. With Barbie being perceived as a feminist and woke film, there was an outcry from the opposite side of that spectrum, with many people dismissing the movie as propaganda. But I'm here to tell you that none of that is true, and to prove it, we have to get into heavy spoilers. So if you've not already watched the film and are planning to watch it, I suggest stopping the video here. What was Barbie actually about? Now that we have that out of the way, let's answer the question, what was Barbie about anyway? The film opens to a world where the Barbies rule and the Kens are pretty much the side characters. Every important government position and all the pretty looking houses are owned by the Barbies, while the Kens, well, we don't get to know much about them. The Barbies claim that they don't even know where the Kens sleep at night.
There are many Kens.
Where do the Kens stay?
I love you too.
I don't know.
There's a serious problem with the distribution of resources among the sexes in this world. That all changes when Barbie begins having an existential crisis. Apparently, someone from the real world is projecting their emotions onto Barbie, and unless she stops them, Barbie Land is in serious trouble. Both Barbie and Ken travel the real world to stop the chaos from unfolding, but it's only really Barbie putting in an effort. Ken's kind of a loose cannon and is off doing his own thing. After all, what will saving Barbieland offer him anyway? To cut to the chase, Ken discovers patriarchy and discovers that men can get away with anything in the real world. Of course, things are much more nuanced than that, and when he realizes that the patriarchy doesn't really work the way people think it does, he tries to go home and change it thanks to his newly found knowledge. Only for Barbie to arrive and steal everything right from under the Kens' noses. That is where the film changes its tone entirely and changes into an all-out gender war between the Barbies and the Kens. This is also where the normal viewer would think they've been encouraged to pick sides. But that isn't the purpose of the movie at all. The movie actually wants you to pick none. The Barbie movie failed. You see, the movie's designed to make you see the flaws in both the patriarchy and matriarchy, and doesn't reveal its actual message until the very end. Individualism, except the message is poorly executed and hardly lands as originally intended. In fact, it could be argued that the message didn't land at all for most people, and their only takeaway from the movie is the gender war preceding the actual message, which made most people think that Barbie was a feminist movie. Why did it fail? You see, the whole thing about stereotypical Barbie and stereotypical Ken, the titular protagonists of the film, is that they aren't satisfied with the current state of affairs. Their ideal societies aren't what they thought they were, and instead, they're off to find answers on their own. However, these character resolutions seem to come from nowhere. The last arc is a rushed mess. Rather than give the characters some time to reach the conclusions naturally, it feels like the lines are fed to them. It also doesn't help that the point is actually being made in a Barbie movie. It's hard to take the characters seriously when they've just rubbed the surface of what it's like to be a human in the actual world. But given the amount of money it's made, maybe the movie's good and I'm just on about nothing.